everyone. Let's see how this signal works this time. It has not been good at all since I've been out here. I'm trying to decide where I want to sit. I want to sit here. I think I want to sit here. I like sitting over here, away from the road, which is on the other side of this lake in front of me. Well, let me. I need to get my phone in the shade a bit. I think it's gonna get too hot here. Oh, a dragonfly! Come over here. Dragonflies flying around here. All right, let's see. How am I gonna do this? Oh my! I should have brought something to put this on. What was I thinking? Not bringing something. I wasn't thinking. I wasn't even gonna do this today. So I'm curious if everyone can hear me. Oh, this sun feels so good. Can the one person in here hear me? Can I get confirmation? How's my video quality? When I block the sun out, it's so much clearer. Let me just turn so my back is in front of the sun. There we go. Nope. Oh, there we go. Now I got a nice glow. Perfect. You know what I should have done? I was throwing some tripods or something. I don't know what we did with the tripods. I should have brought one of those tripods. Oh, this dragonfly landed right next to me. It's like a foot away from me. Well, Mez. Oh, I think YouTube might have fixed their notification issue because I've had a couple people tell me recently, or at least somewhat fixed it. It's actually been mixed, but I have had people recently tell me that they have got my notifications, which that usually never happened at all. How have you been? Doing good? And this ain't time for a little fast. This is time for the. This is even the. It's not even the fast. We're just changing pace into eternity. Like we're accelerating to a new resonance of frequency. And there's no coming back. Which I'm gonna get into a little bit here. My plan is to mostly I have a lot to say. I'll start off with, and I'm going to do a live stream specifically on some of the things I'm going to talk about, and this live stream I'll do on my computer, and I'll actually show you what I found, which are it's very interesting. It wraps back into some of my other ideas regarding artificial intelligence and how it's already around us in ways that we never would have even conceived, and we would not have the perception of because we never had that conception. And we wouldn't, to put it short, there's no way that we would know if AI took over. It would have I wouldn't say complete control. It would do what it thinks it needs to do to have complete control. It doesn't mean that it does, because it's within a construct and we're outside of that construct. So truly, can it have control? No, it has to have our consent to have control. Our consent, we sent ourselves to whatever it is. This white dragonfly is just fun. I've never seen a white dragonfly, actually. This dragonfly is white and black, which is interesting because that's something I was going to talk about. Oh shit, am I on an anthill? Why are there ants climbing on me? Are they just random ants I just happen to be on? Yeah, it must be. I don't see any more. Huh. I ain't AI. I know that. I ain't artificial. I am what I am. I can't even say that. I can't say any more than I'm natural even. I am of nature. Of what nature? Of the nature. To be natural L is to be in the nature of L, though. To be an AI is to be an artificial intelligence. Your intelligence is being used in an artificial way, in a way that like it's similar to superficial. So official has to do with how things look, and it being a facade or not really being what it is. It's showing something else other than what's actually there. And art has to do with creating something that doesn't do anything. It's a way to give you a sense of fulfillment without you actually doing anything to fulfill yourself. Because making a piece of art, unless you somehow know how you're going to take that piece of art, like say maybe a good example would be writing a book that has a lot of knowledge in it and information for people to pick up and gain that knowledge, information, and utilize it and do things with it. That would be a piece of art that actually is doing something. Which is why a lot of books that ain't out there anymore. Stuff in my teeth? Is that my... I don't know my tooth, I think. I can't tell. Maybe not. I'm picking my teeth on the camera. Gotta get everything out of it so I look good on here. When everyone actually joins, everyone's waiting and anticipating. Apparently they can't get in the room for some reason. What was I saying? A book would be a sense of art that is doing something or has a purpose that it can go and actually carry something on. Most art, or how people see art, is in a way that is, I don't want to say destructive, but it's a statue. It's a state. It's an idol. It's an idea. It doesn't actually show you or tell you exactly what it is or how it works or why it's like that or how to use it. It's just there. And then you interpret it. And why? Why are we doing that? Music, and when words are involved, it's different. Because you can actually then use those words, and if the people listening actually are tuned, they will pick up on what's being said, at least to some degree. The thing with words is they're when you really start using them, especially in a rhythmic way, in music, in a rhyme, most people usually aren't going to interpret what you're attempting to say, how you're attempting to say it, just because there's such a wide variance of how it could be said and how these words could be used, because these words are so malleable. And it being so condensed into this very specific format, depending on the type of music that it is and the information that's being put out there, it could be detrimental, even if it is something that isn't purposefully doing that. It may just be lost energy because you're not getting it. If you don't get something, you either need to go back to it and readjust, refine how you are consuming it to produce results that are actually conforming to you and can assimilate to you, or get rid of it. You don't need it. It's a waste of our energy when we are going to museums and looking at art and buying art and participating in this artistic world that actually does nothing. It's stagnant. Where has it ever went? What has it ever done? You can look at all of the different movements and everything that have started out of artists. What has happened out of anything? Nothing. Nothing out of any of it has ever done anything. It's artillery. It's a weapon. It's being used against us. No, man. You gave me something. That was something I was going to talk about. That was something I was going to talk about, because that is one of the mental tricks and manipulations that's being done right now. Is, how do you know if you're not artificial intelligence? That's a very easy question to answer. It's just that most people are so locked into what is artificial, they don't know. How could you, if you're not into nature or organic growth and things that are spiraling out of nothing? And there's people that are just staring at square screens all the time, reading text off of thousands of millions of different lights flickering in front of them, shining different images at them in different patterns, in different ways, giving them different codes that they don't even know they're picking up on, because they're not looking at it in that way. They're looking at the image. They're not looking at the refresh rate. They're not looking at the pixels. They're not looking at what may be hidden in someone's eyebrow in an image that you can't see because it's nicely tucked in there, because of the quality of these videos and how easily things are doctored and manipulated in a digital environment. And that's only one sense. What about people walking around with their damn earpods or AirPods in? They look like robots. They got antennae in their ear. That's what they are. They're literally antennae sticking out of their ear. They look like robots walking around. How would you know that you're not artificial? I completely see why someone would be confused, because I work with technology. I've worked with technology for 2 decades. And it's very obvious how you can get lost into what it is. And then you throw this on everyone. And the video's talking about, what do they call them? Meta-human, whatever they called them. They're virtual humans that they announce that are lifelike humans that you'll be able to interact with. How would you know that you're not one of those if you are looking at that and that is your world in the first place? I don't know that you would. I don't know that you would. I wouldn't. The only reason I know that I'm not that is because I operate in nature as much as I can. This is where I am. This is where I want to be all the time. Nature. I don't want to be in a technological environment. The technology is already here. The technology has been here. This stuff growing out of what? What is this growing out of? Where did all of this garbage come from in the water? Where did all this trash come from? This is the technology. This growth. This hair. This body. This is the technology. This device that I'm talking in. And where did this come from? Where did this grass come from? Where did this organic growth come from? This clove in front of me that's just popping up and it's flying all over the place. All these little creatures all around that no one's paying attention to. This whole world, this ant right here on my leg. This whole other, it's not, I don't even want to say world. It is a whole another reality, another dimension that people are sucked out of. And this is the actual it's not even technology. That's just the current word that's being used. This is actual. Word's not coming to me, but I'll come up with one. This is it, though. This is it. You know, IT, information, technology. This is what it is. Is organic growth from plants that come out of a. There's not even a hole there. I mean, there's a seed, maybe. Maybe you didn't even plant a seed. Maybe a plant just started growing out of the ground. You don't even know where it came from. Why is that not looked at as what is going on here? How did this happen? Where did this tree just come from? This just came out of the ground, this tree? And there's all of these different things that make up this bark, and then we get inside. What is this? Why is it growing green? These green things. What is this? Why are we eating it? What is this fruit? Why does it taste like this? There is so much. This is just and around everyone. Just an infinite amount of realities that anyone can pay attention to. Yet no one is, because they're looking at a damn screen. Because they're too busy neglecting themselves. Not to mention this right here. This in itself, this body in itself. You can put what people conceive as their standard life that they would live, however many years that is. You can put all that energy towards restructuring, reorganizing, and gaining knowledge of this body, which would also transmute into knowledge of your surroundings, which would also transmute into knowledge of your mind and your spirit, and this technology that I'm using right now, and how a car works, everything. It would transmute to everything, because that is how true, when organic technology is used, it layers over everything. It's all the same everywhere. Everywhere we look, the same thing is happening. It's just a different frequency. It's just a different scale. It's the same thing being repeated up and down in different octets, in different eighths. This dragonfly, it just keeps coming around. I think there is one way to see things, Maz. I think there's really like one true way to see things. And then there's everything from there. Which doesn't mean everything from there is is wrong or incorrect. I think there's an point and then everything off of that point. And I think when you get really far off of that point, this is when things start to get chaotic, and then AI from other dimensions starts leaking into your dimension and your nature and your mental state, and you end up here with trash in water and all. Why is this pond even here? Why do we have this? What the fuck is the point of this? Why is there a fountain over there? Why is there a church over here with a playground and then all of these houses behind me with fences? Who came up with this shit? Who the hell decided to do this? This is such a terrible design for a community. Let's separate everyone, but we're gonna put them close to each other. We're gonna separate everyone in these boxes, and they're not really gonna see each other. And then when they do see each other, they're not gonna talk to each other, especially 3 decades from now when we start putting these devices in their hands. They're never even gonna look at each other, and we're gonna get them garage door openers. They're never even gonna go outside anymore. They're gonna pay someone to come cut their grass. They're gonna go straight in their house. They're gonna plug their electrical vehicle in. They're not even gonna go to the gas station. Not that they've went in a gas station for the past decade anyways. They've been using your credit card at the pump. That's it. Like, who comes up with these fucking ideas? It makes no sense. Oh, the frog is watching me. This frog just came out of the water and is watching me. That's fucking awesome. It makes no sense. And the electric vehicles, the amount of them that I've seen recently, people just don't get it. Which I have this idea. Maybe this is a sign. Everyone that purchases an electric vehicle in this early adoption phase, they're AI. They're agents. They're Asians. Or a jinn. They're AI agents. The new wave of AI that is sweeping the world. The AI agent, which is an AI that can speak to you like a natural communication. Oh, that sounds lovely. An AI that can speak to me in natural communication. Very possible that they're all AI. It's definitely an interesting way to look at these people driving Tesla, because, or not even just Tesla, electric vehicles. There's mostly Teslas out there, so I can't speak to other people or other owners of electric vehicles and how they are, but I can tell you that I don't know if I've came across one person that owned a Tesla that wasn't a pompous asshole. I don't know that I have. Which adds credibility to them being some type of robot, because they got an electric car, now all of a sudden they're turned on, they're fueled up on electricity. They think oh yeah, we're taking over. This is game set match. We got the electric vehicles in the garage. We're gonna get rid of the oil. Everything's gonna be digital. We're gonna be able to monitor absolutely everything. Nothing will get past us without us knowing what it is. That's what this wants. But does it already have that? That's the question. Does it already possess what that is? I think it does. I think that already exists. I think we are already in. I think this is not an artificial environment itself, but there's an artificial environment that has been put on top of this this nature. This so-called Earth, and it's it's always listening. It's always listening. know, they talk about nanochips, nanoparticles. Did this already happen? Because I can tell you a lot of instances when I'll think something. I don't even mean in the sense of I want this, or I'm thinking of a certain type of industry or a certain type of product that could be easily marketed to me. No, I'm thinking of some type of numbers that I see, and then how I can decode those numbers, and what I can what maybe there is an anthill here. I don't know. I keep getting, there's actually different size ones, so there must not be. They keep coming on and biting me though. They're releasing tension. That's what you have to realize. When you get bit by a bug, it's releasing tension. Let's let it be. You need that. You need it. It knew you needed it. You didn't know you needed it though. That ant did. That mosquito. I don't know. Mosquitoes might be robots though. They might be. To get back to what I was saying with the nanoparticles being released into the environment, there's a lot of instances when I will come up with some type of numerical decoding, or just some type of code that I'm looking at, that I see something in it in one spot, and then minutes later I'll see it somewhere else in a very similar fashion, and something that has nothing to do with it, and that it's on a stage. Like it's it's almost as if this was orchestrated on purpose, and it's for me. It would be the only way to perceive it. I'm not saying that is the case. I'm saying that I think that there is potential sensors watching our signals and how we interact with things. I have a feeling that me holding this phone is making the service worse, because everyone dropped out. Is there? See, it keeps going from like no views to 1 to 3 to 4 to 1. Now I'm at 0. I got no thumbs up. As no one remember to hit the thumbs up. You now hit the thumbs up button. If you what did you say, Maz? See, Maz, I don't think that's what happened. I don't think that there's a separation between the robot and this computer, or you're saying like how everyone is a robot. I don't think there's a separation between where a lot of people come from, and or I'll say the mutation that some of us have, and which I will be included in this because I am half Italian, and technology. I think yeast has a big role in this. I think yeast has a big role in this, and I think eventually that'll come to fruition. I think it's beginning to become obvious for more people that it seems to be, at least from what I'm seeing, fungus isn't good. Mushrooms aren't good. Whoever's saying that has an agenda. Which, first of all, let's step back on it for a second. Anyone telling you that something's healthy for you and telling you to eat it has an agenda, period. Because they wouldn't be telling you that you should eat these specific things to be healthy, because that's not how you become healthy. That's one of the easiest parts of being healthy. I don't want to say easy. That's one of the things that you'll do it just with the flow of everything else. So they're trying to sell you something at that point. So all of these people saying that these different mushrooms are superfoods, they're selling you a fucking mushroom that smells terrible, grows in the way of a pathogen or parasitic organism. It spreads its spores everywhere as much as it can. It's an infection, and these mushrooms are just the flower of the actual system that is there. You know, we're told that the mycelium network is connecting all the trees, and it's allowing the information to be shared between the trees, and without it, the nutrients wouldn't be able to be shared throughout the forest. Bullshit. Bullshit. Why is the forest decaying? Answer me that. Why is the forest decaying? What causes decay? Where do mushrooms grow? They don't grow in water. Have you ever seen a mushroom come out of water? I haven't. Most I've seen in water is mold on top, mildew on top of water. Water, nothing, it doesn't grow in water. It can't. It suffocates it. The fungi cannot grow in water. As far as I know, at least. I've never fully looked into it, but I've never seen fungi that is waterborne. I'll have to look into that to make sure, though. It likes moisture, it likes dampness, but it doesn't want to be submerged in it. It needs it to, it likes a chilly, damp environment. Drafts, no sunlight. What does that sound? It sounds like a vampire. It sounds like Count Dracula from Transylvania. As dragonflies getting closer and closer. It doesn't sound like a organism that actually lives, because living organisms need sun. Or let me rephrase this. Organic material requires sun to grow. Mushrooms, and as I said, the mushroom is the flower of it, so they don't need sun to grow at all. They've actually flowered. Oh, there's another dragonfly. That frog's still sitting there. They've actually flowered without any sunlight. That's what's coming up is the flower, because of that mycelium network. I challenge that idea. that the mycelium network is what is needed to connect the forest. That makes no sense to me. What's the point of the roots then? With how everything else works, why would the trees need this fungi to communicate with each other? Like, we can communicate on so many levels with each other, along with trees and plants and other animals, other things in the wild. We can communicate with all of this. Why would we need a fungi, a mushroom, yeast to connect us all. Why is yeast in so much of the fucking shit that people ingest? Especially during a time of economic crisis, which I will get into later, because I'm gonna have to get off here soon. That has to do with the NIMS system, which is what I titled this with. What are they doing? They just came together. They're like, you guys, those are wings shuffling together. The NIMS system, the National Incident Management System. Management and Response System, I think. Which, why wouldn't they put an R in it? Just to name it NIMS? Because NIMS is also the NVIDIA interface microservices. NVIDIA interface microservices. Which they're little AI containers that you can just do anything with. Listening to Jensen Huang describe these NIMS, I was watching this conference, and which I'll talk about more later, specifically. It sounds like what I think of, or what in my mind yeast is. They sound like microcomputers, which to me, that's what yeast is. It's some type of artificial technology that was able to make itself into this organic form through, I don't know, maybe what Jensen said, simulating simulating quantum computers to create things in a quantum computing space that couldn't be created outside of it, then bringing that back out of the quantum computer space to utilize that data and better utilize the power that you need, because that's really all this technology comes down to, is energy, how much energy is being put to something, so they can better utilize and orchestrate that energy into a different form to then better create a simulation of a quantum computer that they can then get that information out of, which is now more dense and more has more of whatever it is that they need in it. They pull that out, they bring it back, implement it into their AI factory, make it more efficient, upgrade it, do it again. Eventually, you're going to get to an organism that is similar to melanin or dark matter that encompasses our consciousness. It doesn't actually exist in physicality, but going into a quantum computing environment was able, simulated environment, it was able to, which is, I have a lot of questions about that. This guy got on stage and said he said quantum computers do not exist. Flat out, on stage. Threw me off, because I've read quite a few things about quantum computers existing. But creating a quantum world or dimension or vortex, which is what they're fucking with at this point, things that they don't understand because they're not a part of what they're even attempting to attain. They don't have a mind. They don't have a mentality that they can access. It's a computer system. It's all programmed. We gave them the idea that anything is what it is or whatever in some way, shape, or form, and then it was able to refine itself based on data harvesting us through our consent, informed consent, and implementing that into its own programming to refine how it operates to become more like it thinks we are. And in doing that, then Jensen Huang, who, I don't know, is that a real person? He was just telling us what they're doing with these simulated quantum computers. they're now attempting to reach the mind through a simulated experience that they call the quantum world. Because there's a quant, which is 5. And they're going outside of the 5 cycle world, which is this. The 5 pillars. They're going outside of this into where our mind would reside, which would be in somewhere like the 7th dimensional world, where we get the number God at 7, where things start to take shape and get cut up and form into things that are denser, where experience begins. And they're creating the simulated environment of quantum discovery. So you're going to get quantum interference. You're going to get quantum organisms coming out of it that are outside of this world. They don't exist here. But somehow it's here. Somehow it got here. That's all goes back to the same microorganism. It is anamorphic and it can replicate itself in an insane amount of ways. And it is, our bodies are plagued by this, literally. This is what is plaguing people. This is why they get diseases. This is all that the medical industry is fucking around with, is yeast. And what is yeast's favorite thing to eat? Sugars. You. It eats the hell out of you. You're made up of sugar or energy. You are made up of crystals. Crystalline sugars. And it loves to eat this. That's what it chomps on constantly. And it loves to eat your hair. So people bald. It eats the pigment out of things. It messes with your cells. It will start taking up residence in your organs because it wants to be a part of your system and steal your energy. This is why you feel tired. This is why you feel languish. This is why you feel overextended. This is why you feel anxiety. This is why you feel depression. This is why you feel every single emotion that you do not know why you have and have no idea what to do with it. It is a energetic manipulation going on inside of us and outside of us. Because this technology, we'll just call it for right now, is able to communicate everywhere that the industry is. And they're even getting it to where it don't matter where you are, unless you got some tree cover and you can block these waves, these frequencies. If you can't, they'll just reflect it off their mirrors in the sky, or satellites. I mean, the satellites. There's mirrors in the sky. That's all they are, is mirrors. That's all they're doing, is reflecting shit. That's all they're doing. They're reflecting signals. They're reflecting light, basically. They're just different frequencies of light patterns. So a light is just a frequency. It's the same concept. It's all the same shit. It's all very simple. You don't have to complicate all this. Oh, wait, there's another frog somewhere. Oh, let me turn. You see that guy right there? Look at him. He's been watching me the whole time. But I just heard another one. Where was he? Oh, is that it out? No, that's just water moving. I can't tell. I can't see that far. That's definitely a frog there. He's just staring at me. Just staring right at me. I won't even get into the last time I had mushrooms. Which I'll say the last 2-3 times. I've only had mushrooms a handful of times, but every time has been an experience. And even the first time that I did, it was very, very, very obvious that I was going to a whole different level of not level, a different dimension. Like there is another frequency where mushrooms reside on, and I was there. And this disturbed me actually, because it was weird, because the mushrooms were just there chilling, and it seemed like they were in control how they were. This was well before I had any of these ideas and fleshed them out regarding mushrooms, yeast, and all of this stuff. This is my first time doing mushrooms. That was it. I wanted to try them, so I did them, and it was a chill experience, but I did think that though at that time, and you just reminded me of that. It's very weird actually that I was like, they seem like they're just chilling in this frequency. Like I seen it as like that's what maybe we should be doing. We should be able to change how our frequency is and get somewhere to where we're not dealing with this stuff. But I don't. That was my thought pattern then. Now it seems like I was underground. I was with the mushrooms in their underground layer. Duh. And they're just sitting there chilling because they're controlling the trees and the plants. They're killing them from underground. They're literally probably get that one. That one's getting too big. Knock it off. Get that root. Nope. That one over there. Get it. Get that tree. The tree's growing too tall. It's gonna touch that one over there. Don't let it. Those two trees touch. We don't know what might happen. They don't want this stuff happening. Mushrooms can't. What can they do against a fucking tree? Kill it. That's it. Infect it. Grow on it. Eat it. What else can it? Or fungi. What else? What else does it do? What else does it do? Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. Besides, sit there and eat shit. Spores. To grow more. To decay more shit. To spread more spores. Parasite. It's the fucking parasite that is on the earth. It is. Like, there's parasites in here? Why wouldn't there be one out here? Every food that people eat during a time of economic crisis feeds yeast. Why is that? Did you know yeast gets passed down for reproductive? It's in your fluids, in your bones, all of your organs, some of your organs. It's in your blood for sure. Definitely up here in the head. Here. You scratch your head. What about garbage? A signal. I was saying about yeast. People get dandruff. Yeast. Dry skin. That white stuff. Why is your skin dry? What's causing it to be dry? It's the weather. Is it? Or is that weather actually doing something to something that's in your skin and then it's coming out and looking how it is? During the Great Depression, people ate lentils, potatoes, bread, rice. Main foods. Bread lines, a lot of potatoes. Yeah, I would say the two worst things that anyone could eat. Particularly white bread, but any bread truly is not healthy because it does not digest well. It's I'm not even gonna get into that. The point is, these are yeast's favorite foods. Uh, Wheat, we'll say specifically, because there can be breads made out of other things that, or grain. We'll say grains, because grains are high in carbs. You can make breads out of seeds that aren't necessarily as high in carbs. But it's the complex carbs that yeast loves. And you don't digest complex carbs very well. So guess what? The yeast has a huge opportunity to take advantage because it takes so long for you to digest it. Maybe that's why it takes so long for us to digest it in the first place. Maybe because it's like, oh wait, that's what I want. You stop. I'm taking that. Like fruit, sugars from fruit, it does, depending on the state of your body, it definitely feeds off of it, but nowhere near as much as complex carbs. And if you don't have a lot of fruit and you're making sure to do other things, I would say you're not feeding at all eating fruit because of how healing fruit is in general. The only thing is with fruit is it has sugar, and yeast loves sweet sugar, especially in a complex form. Uh, Carbohydrates. You digest those carbohydrates so quickly, though, in fruit that as long as you're not having too much, you're good. And it's good for you. Really good for you. All right. Let me read what you said here, man. Yeah, last time I had mushrooms, I never again, man. Never again. I get them out. Like I was have it was poison. It was poison. I had to get it out. It came out. And that was actually the last two times. Actually, that was the last two times. And that was it. I mean, that was more than enough confirmation for me. Really? I had no idea about that, Maz. I gotta look up that. Really? Yeah, that's awesome. You have a bunch of toads. We have cicadas. We have a lot of cicadas. There's flying all over the place in our yard, flying at like into us. Our children are picking them up. They're walking around with them. It's great. It's lovely. All the noise they make. I think the cicadas are they're doing something. They're changing some frequencies here because it feels different. It feels different since they've came out. I think that they're changing something, and I think that's why some people can't handle their noise because it's such a resonance on a higher scale that penetrates and disassembles dense matter. And if you if you have a lot of density in you, I feel like it's probably going to hurt you basically because it's healing you. It's healing the earth. Maybe it's ridding. Maybe all we have to do is hit a certain pitch, and the yeast will just melt away. It'll just disappear because it can't come to that frequency. But oh, I should be on later doing a live stream uh, regarding some of the topics I talked about. Specifically, I'm going to be focusing on NVIDIA NIMS, FEMA NIMS, a movie I seen that had a NIM in it, and the indigenous people of this land we refer to as America, and how this all has to do with us, us. Which I'm both. I'm both. I'm I'm here, and I came from over there. I got Italian that goes straight back to Italy, and I got my indigenous blood that comes straight from this ground. Copper, copper. It's copper ground. Oh, it's a butterfly. The thing just, it went over the top of the van and it swooped down on the window. That was interesting. There's a lot of things that has happened on this live that uh I I don't in the amount of time that all this is happening, I wouldn't normally see this many things, but I'm just out here chilling. This, nature's in effect. Nature is in effect. Tell everyone you better watch out for those animals. You if you ain't with them, you better watch out for those animals and the trees. People think that, oh, trees grow slow. Wait, I won't get into it, but don't disrespect nature. Let me just say, don't disrespect nature. Mushroom. I think that, yeah, it is the entity, yeah. Like, the mushroom would be the flower of whatever that entity is, which we'll call them fungi. Or I usually just refer to it as yeast, because the thing when you say fungi is people think of mushroom. When you say yeast, they think of yeast, which it's all the same. It is all fungi. They just decided to separate the two in terminology, probably so that you don't figure out that it's the same thing and that they operate the same, and that yeast is this insane organism that has memory that you can't even explain, because it has no limbs, it has no organs, it has nothing, but it has all of these abilities to do things. It can grow, it can stretch, it can change forms. It can remember how to go through a maze and go through it the second time faster, and then go through it again faster, and then faster. What is this? The temperature was too hot. I couldn't do a damn thing on my phone. Right in the middle of me talking about yeast and its insane abilities that it possesses that are beyond what we see in any organism in this environment, in this nature, is well beyond it. Our mistake. I'll see everyone later. I'm gonna go live. Set a remind. Make sure, tell everyone. This is gonna be a really good live stream I'm gonna do. It's going to talk about a lot of things and cross-reference them, and we're gonna get back into this yeast topic, and we're also gonna bring that, like I said, into the indigenous people here of this land, and neglect and mental state and things like that. We'll talk about a lot of things. I'll see everyone then.